Hey, today we will bring you a romantic love story, so let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any meaningful stories. Chapter 1. A Fateful Encounter. Emma thought she had found the perfect prey, but she didn't know she had just crossed paths with someone even better at deception than she was. That afternoon, the sunlight faded over the narrow street, and the Bean and Brew Cafe buzzed with laughter and the rich aroma of freshly roasted coffee. Emma Carter, 26, walked in with a confident stride, though her eyes betrayed a hint of exhaustion. Her brown hair was tied up high, revealing a sharp-featured face, and an old jacket concealed the delivery uniform still tinged with the greasy smell from her morning shift. In her bag was a homemade gadget, what she called a perpetual Wi-Fi emitter, something that didn't actually exist but was convincing enough to trick a few gullible people and earn her some extra cash to pay off her family's debts. Emma didn't survive on petty scams alone. By day, she peddled a bike delivering food for a modest sandwich shop, weaving through tight alleys to scrape together a meager wage. But that money was never enough to cover the debt her parents had left behind after passing away 3 years ago. So she resorted to tricks, like this Wi-Fi emitter, to make up the difference. Emma hated the feeling of deceiving others, but she comforted herself with a rule. She'd never take from those who had nothing left to lose. Her eyes scanned the cafe, searching for a target. After her morning deliveries, she'd only made $15, far too little to cover this week's loan interest. Then she spotted him. A man sat in the corner, wearing a faded blue shirt with a worn collar, quietly sipping black coffee and reading a newspaper. His glasses slid down his nose, and his dark hair was slightly messy, making him look like an ordinary tech worker just off the clock. Emma smiled to herself. This was the perfect prey. She didn't know that the man was Liam Anderson, 32, CEO of Apex Tech, disguised to escape the spotlight and shallow relationships of his elite world. Liam loved days like this, blending in as a nobody, unnoticed and free from flattery. But today he was about to be drawn into a game he hadn't anticipated. Emma pulled out a chair and sat across from Liam without asking, flashing a bright smile as if they were old friends. "Hey there! I just finished the delivery and stopped by to rest." "You seem like a tech guy, right?" she asked, her voice sweet but her eyes glinting with mischief. Liam looked up, slightly startled by her boldness, but then adjusted his glasses and nodded lightly. "Yeah, sort of," he replied, his tone deep and calm. A small voice in his head wondered, "What's this girl up to?" But he decided to play along and see where it went. "Perfect." Emma clapped her hands and pulled a small plastic device from her bag. It looked like a child's toy with a few crookedly glued LED lights. "This is my invention, the perpetual Wi-Fi emitter. No power needed, no subscription, just turn it on and you've got internet anytime, anywhere. I made it in my spare time after deliveries. It's special, only for people who get its value." She slid the device toward Liam, her eyes sparkling, as if she genuinely believed her own pitch. Liam glanced down at the perpetual Wi-Fi emitter, the corner of his mouth twitching. As a tech CEO, he knew instantly it couldn't work. It was just a sloppy mash of cheap parts. But instead of calling her out, he leaned into the role. He furrowed his brow, feigning curiosity. "Really? So what powers it? Solar energy?" Emma faltered for a moment, caught off guard by the specific question, but she quickly regained her composure, grinning widely. "Oh, not quite. It uses self-renewing energy tech. Super cutting edge. I can't explain it too much. Trade secret, you know." She waved her hands dramatically, masking her unease. Liam nearly laughed. She was a terrible actress, but there was something oddly captivating about her. Her mix of confidence and clumsiness intrigued him. "Sounds impressive," Liam nodded, tapping his fingers on the table as if mulling it over. "How much?" Emma blinked, stunned he'd agreed so fast. Just $50. A steal for something life-changing like this," she said, her voice pitching up with excitement. Liam pulled out his wallet, slid two $50 bills onto the table, and said, "I'll take it, but I'm paying $100 because I like supporting creators." His tone was casual, but his eyes twinkled with amusement. Emma froze, holding the cash in disbelief. $100? Double what she'd asked? She studied Liam, searching for anything suspicious, but he just smiled benignly. Thanks, you're really generous. This'll let me take a day off deliveries, she said, pocketing the money with a mix of joy and suspicion. Just then, an elderly man approached, trembling hands clutching a few coins, looking at Emma with hopeful eyes. Miss, can I buy that device? I need internet to call my son, he asked, his voice frail. Emma's gaze softened as she looked at the old man. She shook her head gently. Sorry, sir, this isn't right for you. Keep your money for food. I don't take from people with nothing to lose. The man nodded gratefully and shuffled away. Emma sighed, unaware that Liam was watching her. He raised an eyebrow, a warmth stirring in his chest. She's not just a delivery girl scamming to get by, he thought. Beneath her cunning exterior was a kind heart, something rare in his world. Liam stood, picking up the perpetual Wi-Fi emitter and slipping it into his pocket. Thanks, I'll test it out and see if it's as good as you say, he said, his tone light but tinged with teasing. Emma grinned back. Oh, for sure. You won't be disappointed. But when she looked up, Liam was already at the door, glancing back with a cryptic smile. I'll come back to check if it works, he said, then disappeared through the glass door. Emma stood there clutching the two $50 bills, a strange feeling rising in her chest. His words echoed in her mind, half joking, half warning. Check it? Is he serious? She muttered, peering out the window where Liam's figure had vanished. She didn't realize she'd just stepped into a bigger game, where the man she took for a simple tech worker was quietly observing her. Not to catch her out, but to understand her more. The girl who toiled through deliveries and survived on tricks. Liam stepped outside, the afternoon breeze ruffling his hair. He pulled out the Wi-Fi emitter and chuckled softly. She's really something, he murmured, tucking it away like a keepsake. He wasn't sure why, but he wanted to see her again, not for the fake device, but for her. A person who fought to survive yet held on to kindness amid hardship. Chapter 2. The Beginning of a Connection. 3 days after their first meeting, Liam returned to the Bean and Brew Cafe, holding the perpetual Wi-Fi emitter in his hand. The fiery sunset painted the glass windows red, and the cafe was quieter today, with only a few scattered customers. Emma stood behind the counter, wearing her grease-stained delivery uniform from the morning shift, her eyes tired but still sharp. She'd just finished delivering 20 sandwich orders, earning $18, still not enough to cover this week's loan interest. When she saw Liam walk in, she flinched, nearly dropping the glass of water in her hand. He actually came back, she thought, a mix of anxiety and curiosity rising within her. Liam approached, offering a gentle smile, though his eyes sparkled with a teasing glint. He placed the Wi-Fi emitter on the table in front of her, his tone serious. Miss Carter, I tested this at home. It doesn't work. Emma swallowed hard, trying to stay composed. Oh, you must have used it wrong. Let me check it for you, she replied, reaching for the device, but Liam quickly pulled it back. No need, he said, raising an eyebrow. It doesn't work, so you owe me compensation. Emma blinked, unsure if he was joking or serious. Compensation? I can just give you your money back, right? She stammered, fumbling in her bag for the two $50 bills he'd given her last time. But Liam laughed, waving his hand dismissively. I don't want the money. Take me out for a meal somewhere you like. That'll do. His voice was soft, but there was something in it that made it impossible for Emma to refuse. She looked at him, catching the curiosity in his eyes, and finally nodded. Fine, but don't expect anything fancy, she said, smirking. They left the cafe, and Emma led Liam to a small street corner a few blocks away. An old sandwich cart sat under the shade of a banyan tree, the smoky aroma of grilling meat wafting through the air. This is where I eat after deliveries, Emma said, pointing to a scribbled price board on a piece of cardboard. Meat sandwiches, $2. They sat on wobbly plastic chairs, Liam fumbling awkwardly because the seat was too low for his long legs while Emma giggled. Not used to places like this, huh? She teased. Liam nodded, pretending to sigh. Yeah, I usually eat in an office. It's different. The vendor set two steaming sandwiches in front of them. Grilled meat, fresh veggies, and a spicy signature sauce. Emma took a big bite, chewing happily, while Liam carefully peeled back a corner, tasted it, and nodded. Better than I expected. Emma burst out laughing. Don't tell me you've never had a street sandwich before. Liam shrugged, not answering, but his eyes lit up as he watched her. Mid-meal, a street kid, about 8 years old in a torn shirt and holey flip-flops, shuffled by, clutching a deflated ball. Emma glanced at him, then without a word pulled a $5 bill from her pocket, the money she'd meant to return to Liam, and dashed to the vendor. She bought a small plastic toy car and handed it to the boy. Take this and play, don't be sad, okay? She said, ruffling his hair. The boy beamed, hugging the toy tightly before running off. Liam watched the whole scene, a warmth spreading in his chest. He hadn't expected her to use the money she'd scammed from him for this. When Emma returned, he asked, Do you do that a lot? Emma shrugged, a bit embarrassed. Sometimes when I have a little extra. I deliver all day and still barely get by, but those street kids have it worse. Her voice softened, as if she didn't want him to pry further. But Liam didn't let it go. He stood up and walked over to where the boy had gone, now sitting under a tree playing with the toy car. The kid's rusty old bike lay nearby, its front wheel so loose it was about to fall off. Liam knelt down, pulling a small screwdriver from his pocket, a habit from his days tinkering with machines, and got to work. His hands moved deftly, tightening the screws and fixing the wheel in just a few minutes. The bike was rideable again. The boy cheered. You're amazing, mister, and pedaled around, laughing loudly. Emma stared, jaw dropping. You know how to fix bikes? She asked, incredulous. Liam stood, brushing off his hands and smiling faintly. I used to fix random stuff as a kid. It's not hard. But his skill threw her off. A regular tech guy with hands that capable. She studied him closer, and this time noticed the watch peeking out from under his worn shirt sleeve, a sleek steel piece that looked more expensive than her entire month's delivery earnings. Who is this guy, she wondered, but didn't dare ask outright. They returned to their seats and ate in silence for a while. Then Emma spoke, her tone softer. My life's not easy. Delivering morning to night, then figuring out how to make extra cash for debts. Some days I bike so much I'm dead tired, just want to sleep on the street. Liam looked at her, his gaze gentle. I'm not exactly rolling in money either, he said, sticking to his poor tech guy act. Work all day, just enough to live, but you're tough. Emma gave a small laugh, unaware he was lying. Tough? Hardly. I get by with tricks like that Wi-Fi thing. She paused, looking at him. You're really not mad? I scammed you. Liam shrugged, his tone playful. I knew from the start, but I liked how you did it. It was cute. Emma blushed, flustered for the first time in front of one of her victims. The sun set fully, the street corner dimming, lit only by the yellow glow of the sandwich cart. Liam stood, patting the table lightly. Thanks for the meal. Cheap and good, he said, then winked. But you owe me another hangout. Next time I want to try somewhere else. Emma laughed, nodding. Fine, but don't expect me to pay. Liam chuckled loudly, then walked off, his figure fading into the streetlights. Emma stayed behind, holding her half-eaten sandwich, feeling an odd lightness in her chest. She didn't know why she felt so happy. Just a simple meal with a stranger she'd once conned. But his smile, his skill fixing the bike, and that mysterious watch left her puzzled. He's weird, she muttered, half amused, half wary. She didn't realize that Liam, walking down the street, was thinking of her too. The resilient delivery girl with a warm heart, who'd unknowingly pulled him out of his cold, detached world. Chapter 3. The truth begins to unfold. After their encounter at the sandwich cart, Emma couldn't get Liam out of her mind. His gentle smile, the clumsy way he fixed the street kid's bike, and his teasing remark, "You owe me another hangout," kept echoing in her head. But the more she thought about it, the more uneasy she felt. The perpetual Wi-Fi emitter was a scam A quick way to make money, not meant to harm anyone. But it still gnawed at her when she considered Liam's kindness. She didn't want him to see her as a liar. That morning, after an exhausting delivery shift, she texted him using the number he'd left. "Can you meet me at Bean and Brew at 3 p.m.? I need to talk." Liam received the message in his sleek Apex office, seated at a desk cluttered with papers and computer screens. He smiled and typed back, "Sure, I'll be there." He didn't know what Emma had in mind, but curiosity and a desire to see her again prompted him to leave work early. Liam shed his suit, swapping it for an old shirt and glasses, resuming the role of the struggling tech worker he'd adopted around Emma. At 3 p.m., Bean and Brew hummed with chatter and the whir of the coffee grinder. Emma arrived first, sitting in their usual corner, clutching the two $50 bills Liam had given her. She still wore her delivery jacket, hair tied high, her eyes tinged with worry. When Liam walked in, she shot to her feet, her voice trembling slightly. "Sit down, I need to tell you something." Liam raised an eyebrow, pulled out a chair, and sat, his gentle smile intact. "What's so serious? Are you selling me another gadget?" he teased. Emma took a deep breath, placed the two $50 bills on the table, and slid them toward him. "I'm giving this back. You know the Wi-Fi thing. It's fake. I made it to trick people, but I don't want to trick you anymore. You've been too nice to me, and I feel bad." She lowered her gaze, bracing for anger or disappointment, but Liam stayed quiet for a moment, then tilted his head, feigning a frown. "Are you trying to make me sad? I bought it because I liked it, and now you're returning it." Emma looked up, startled by his reaction. "But it doesn't work. I scammed you. Aren't you mad?" she asked, flustered. Liam tapped the table, pretending to ponder, then chuckled. "Mad? How could I be? I bought it for you, not the device. You made me happy, and that's worth it." He pushed the money back toward her, his eyes twinkling. "Keep it. Don't make me look stingy." Emma blinked, her face flushing. You're so weird," she muttered, but a small smile tugged at her lips. His words eased her guilt. She looked at him, seeing sincerity in his eyes, and finally nodded. "Then, let me take you somewhere else. Not a cafe this time," she offered, wanting to make up for it somehow. Liam agreed instantly. "Sure, I'll follow you, but don't drop the money this time," he teased, making Emma laugh. Emma led Liam to a small market a few streets away. The afternoon bustle filled the air with the smells of fresh fish, vegetables, and vendors' calls. This was where Emma often went after deliveries, helping familiar street sellers. "This place is my home," she said, gesturing to the rickety stalls. "I help them clean up or carry stuff, and they give me leftover veggies to eat." Liam looked around, slightly awed. "You do a lot," he said, his tone admiring. They stopped at Mrs. Hoa's stall, an elderly vegetable seller Emma knew well. Mrs. Hoa asked Emma to unload a crate of greens from a cart, and Liam volunteered. "I'll do it," he said, rolling up his sleeves. But he was clumsier than he expected. The heavy crate threw him off balance, and it crashed to the ground, scattering greens everywhere. Emma doubled over laughing. "What kind of tech guy can't even carry stuff?" Liam blushed, scratching his head. I'm better at fixing machines than hauling." They both knelt to pick up the greens, and in their haste, their hands brushed as they reached for the same stalk. Liam flinched, his face reddening further, and yanked his hand back as if shocked. Emma glanced at him, giggling. "You get embarrassed so easily." Liam mumbled, "It's just 'cause you're too close," then turned away, hiding a shy smile. That moment made Emma find him oddly endearing. A clumsy, warm tech guy, far from the confidence she'd first assumed. After cleaning up, they sat on a nearby wooden bench to rest. Emma pulled an apple Mrs. Hoa had given her from her bag, took a bite, and handed it to Liam. "Eat. Don't be shy," she said. Liam took the apple, nibbling a small piece, then asked, "How long have you lived like this?" Emma nodded, her voice softening. 3 years since my parents passed. I deliver all day, pull tricks like the Wi-Fi thing to pay off debts. Some days I bike so much I'm exhausted, just want to sleep on the street." Liam looked at her, his gaze tender. You're stronger than me." As they talked, a business card slipped from Liam's jacket pocket onto the ground. Emma snatched it up before he could react. She glanced at it. Liam Anderson, Apex Technology, embossed on a white background with a prominent company logo. "What's this?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. Liam startled, quickly grabbing it back and stuffing it into his pocket. "Oh, it's from my old boss. I worked for him before," he said, his voice a bit rushed. Emma eyed him, suspicion flickering, but she didn't press. "Old boss? Why's he so nervous?" she thought, but let it go, not wanting to ruin the mood. The sun began to set and the market thinned out. Liam stood, brushing off his hands. "Thanks for this afternoon. I like this place more than the cafe." Emma smiled. "So I've made up for it?" Liam nodded, his eyes warm. "More than that. You made me happy." He turned to leave, then paused, adding, "See you again?" Emma nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "Yeah, if you don't mind hanging out with a delivery girl like me." Liam walked off, his figure fading into the sunset. Emma stayed on the bench, holding the apple, feeling an unexpected lightness. She was starting to like him, the awkward, kind tech guy with a hint of mystery. But then she told herself, "He's too good. I don't deserve him." She didn't know that Liam, walking down the street, was thinking of her too. The resilient girl with a radiant smile who'd unknowingly stirred his heart. He gripped the business card in his pocket, reminding himself to be more careful, but deep down, he didn't want to keep hiding from her forever. Chapter 4. The First Twist. That afternoon, the small market buzzed as usual. The vendors' calls mingled with the scents of fresh fish and vegetables, while the fading sunlight cast a glow over the rusty tin roofs. Emma had just finished her deliveries and pedaled to the market to help Mrs. Hoa with her stall. She wore her worn delivery jacket and dusty sneakers, but her mood was lighter after her recent days with Liam, the clumsy tech guy who left her both flustered and intrigued. She even whistled a cheerful tune while hauling a crate of greens, but that joy was short-lived. As Emma set the crate down, 3 men emerged from a corner of the market. They wore black jackets, and the leader had a snake tattoo curling up his neck, his cold eyes scanning the crowd. Emma recognized them instantly, loan sharks from the underworld, tied to the debt her family had owed for 3 years. The tattooed man stepped forward, his voice raspy. "Emma Carter, you think you can hide forever? Where's the $500 for this month's interest? Hand it over now, or don't blame us." Emma flinched but quickly steadied herself. She only had $20 in her pocket, nowhere near enough to touch the debt. With her usual cunning, she flashed a wide grin and patted the crate. "Oh, you guys came at the perfect time. I was just about to sell some greens to pay you. How about you buy a bunch of kale from me? I'll give you a 50% discount." The tattooed man smirked, stepping closer. "Cut the games. I don't have time. No money today? You're coming with us to work off the debt." Emma backed up, her mind racing. She knew what work meant, scams or worse, and she'd never get involved. She glanced around, catching Mrs. Hoa's worried look, but no one dared step in. All right, Emma raised her hands, feigning compliance. "I'll cooperate, but let me finish unloading this crate first, or Mrs. Hoa will chew me out. You guys like greens? I'll pack some extra as a meet and greet gift." She bent down, slowly picking up the vegetables, chuckling like she was genuinely selling them. The tattooed man nodded, but his eyes stayed glued to her, clearly skeptical of her act. At that moment, Liam appeared at the market's entrance. He'd come to meet Emma as they'd planned via text that morning, a spontaneous decision after their fun afternoon the day before. Dressed in his old shirt and glasses, he carried a bag of sandwiches from the cart they'd visited, intending it as a small gift. But as he entered the market, he froze. He saw Emma surrounded by the 3 men, her face tense despite her attempt at humor. Liam's brow furrowed, a bad feeling rising in his chest. Emma kept stalling, picking greens and chattering. "See, my stuff's fresh. Eat this and you'll be strong as an ox. I'll sell it and pay you right away. Just wait a sec." The tattooed man lost patience, grabbing her collar. "Enough games, let's go!" Emma flinched, nearly dropping a stalk, but managed a smirk. "Easy, you ripped my delivery jacket. Who's paying for it?" Before she could come up with another quip, Liam stepped forward, his voice low and icy. Let go of her. The three turned, sizing Liam up. The tattooed man sneered. Who are you? Her boyfriend? Get lost, this ain't your business. Liam didn't reply, his gaze sharp and unlike his usual gentle demeanor. He pulled out his phone, dialed a number, and spoke curtly. Mark it on 5th Street now. 3 guys, handle it clean, no traces. He hung up, staring down the tattooed man. You've got 30 seconds to disappear. Emma stood frozen, stunned. She'd never seen Liam like this, his voice chilling, his eyes unwavering. The tattooed man lunged, but before he could act, 2 black cars screeched to a stop at the market's edge. 4 men in suits stepped out, wordlessly advancing. Within minutes, the loan sharks were subdued and dragged into the cars without a chance to fight back. One of the suited men bowed to Liam. It's done, sir. Liam nodded, signaling them to leave. It all happened so fast that the market returned to its quiet rhythm as if nothing had occurred. Emma stared at Liam, her mind reeling. She'd just been saved, but she masked her confusion with humor. You called a bodyguard squad? Or is your fast delivery team just that tough? She asked, half joking, half serious. Liam turned to her, his expression softening, but he dodged the question. Just a friend helping out. I know some people, no big deal. Emma raised an eyebrow, unconvinced. Friends? What kind of friends take orders like an action movie? You're not just a regular tech guy, are you? She crossed her arms, staring him down, but added a tease. Or are you a superhero in disguise, saving delivery girls like me? Liam sighed, trying to stay calm. I'm just Liam, that's all. Don't overthink it. But Emma couldn't let it go. She'd heard his commanding tone on the phone. Cold, authoritative, not something a broke tech worker could pull off. I don't know who you are, Emma said, her voice quieter but still laced with humor. But I don't want more trouble. My life's dramatic enough without action scenes. She turned and walked off, leaving the half-unloaded crate behind. Liam called after her. Emma, wait! But she didn't stop, muttering as she went. Save me if you want, but don't scare me half to death. Her figure disappeared behind the stalls. Liam stood there, still clutching the sandwich bag, his eyes tinged with sadness. He wanted to explain, but he knew now wasn't the time. He blamed himself for being careless, letting her overhear the call and glimpse his other side. I didn't want to scare her, he murmured, gazing after her. He turned and left the market, resolved to find a way to see her again, not to explain yet, but to prove he wasn't what she feared. Emma walked through a narrow alley leading out of the market, her heart heavy but forcing a wry smile. Met a real superhero, huh? A weird one, though. She was scared and confused. Liam had saved her, but he wasn't the gentle tech guy she'd thought. Who was he? A rich man? A thug in disguise? She told herself to stay away, though her heart resisted. The happy days with him now felt like a distant luxury, out of place in her world of deliveries and debt. Mrs. Hoa watched from her stall, shaking her head. That funny girl's got a hard life, and that guy, he's no simple man. The market resumed its daily hum, but between Emma and Liam, a first crack had formed, tinged with the humor of Emma's quick wit amid a brush with danger. Chapter 5. Dramatic Climax. After the trouble at the market, Emma tried to return to her routine, delivering food, helping Mrs. Hoa, and pushing Liam out of her mind. But she couldn't forget him, the strange tech guy with a commanding voice who'd saved her from the loan sharks. She told herself, whatever, maybe he's a real superhero, but superheroes don't fit with a delivery girl like me. Yet fate wouldn't let her rest. 2 days later, as Emma pedaled through her last sandwich delivery of the evening shift, a black van blocked her path in a deserted alley. 3 men stepped out, the snake-tattooed leader from before at the forefront, his eyes blazing. Emma Carter, you think you're free? He growled. No punk's saving you today. Emma jolted, trying to pedal back, but another man grabbed her arm, yanking her off the bike onto the ground. Guys, chill, I'm mid-delivery, she shouted, her voice tinged with humor despite her pounding heart. I'll toss in some free sandwiches. Deal? But they didn't laugh. The tattooed man sneered. You're out of chances to pay. Now you work for us. Scams, deliveries, whatever. Refuse, and your family won't rest easy in their graves. Before Emma could react, a sack was thrown over her head, and she was dragged into the van. She thrashed, yelling, "Let me go!" Late deliveries dock my pay. But only their hoarse laughter answered. Emma was taken to an old warehouse on the city's outskirts. The stench of motor oil and rotting wood hit her as she was shoved into a corner, her hands and feet bound tightly with rope. The tattooed man loomed over her, his voice icy. "You've got 24 hours to agree to work for me, or else." He walked off, leaving another thug to guard her. Emma sat there, hair disheveled, but her mind raced. 24 hours? Enough time to figure out how to deliver from in here, she muttered, clinging to her spirit despite the panic rising within. She scanned her surroundings. The warehouse was dark, lit only by a dim bulb dangling overhead. A metal door stood a few meters away, secured with a hefty lock. Emma shifted, rubbing her shoulder against the ropes to loosen them. "I've delivered through worse alleys than this. I've got to get out," she told herself. After struggling for minutes, she found a sharp metal shard on the floor, likely debris from old machinery. She wedged it between her hands, sawing at the ropes, but her trembling fingers and sweat made it slip repeatedly. Finally, the rope snapped, but as she darted to the door and tried to pry the lock with the shard, it wouldn't budge. "What kind of stubborn lock is this?" she cursed under her breath, banging on the door. The guard heard, stormed in, and grabbed her. "What are you up to?" Emma forced a grin. "Oh, just delivering to you from in here. Convenient, right?" He snarled, tying her up tighter and sealing her mouth with duct tape. Meanwhile, Liam sat in his Apex office, staring blankly at his computer screen. He hadn't reached Emma since the market incident, and it gnawed at him. He tried to keep his distance so she wouldn't fear him, but his heart couldn't take it. When his phone rang, a call from his security team, the voice on the other end was urgent. "Mr. Anderson, we've spotted the loan shark crew abducting a girl in the 7th Street alley. It's Miss Carter." Liam shot up, gripping the phone. "Find her location now. Mobilize the full team. I'm coming." Liam bolted from the office, jumping into a car with his security team, shedding his mild-mannered tech guise. He made another call. "Check street cameras. Track their vehicle. Hurry." Within 30 minutes, his team pinpointed the suburban warehouse where Emma was held. Liam sat in the car, hands clenched on the seat, his chest burning with urgency. He couldn't lose her, not after everything they'd been through. When the car stopped at the warehouse, Liam stepped out, his gaze like ice. His team surrounded the area, but he ordered, "I'm going in first." He shoved the metal door open and stepped inside, spotting the tattooed man beside Emma. She was bound tight, mouth taped, yet her eyes still flickered with defiance. The tattooed man smirked. "You again?" "Not so easy this time." Liam didn't reply, striding forward, his voice low and cutting. "Let her go. I've paid off her family's debt. 50 grand. Check your account." The tattooed man frowned, pulling out his phone. A bank message confirmed the transfer. He looked up, stunned. "You serious?" Liam nodded, his eyes unwavering. "The debt's cleared. She owes nothing. Touch her again, and you'll vanish. No one will find the bodies." The tattooed man paled, signaling his crew to untie Emma. Liam stepped over, peeling the tape from her mouth, his gaze softening. "You okay?" Emma coughed, then quipped, "Yeah, aside from almost becoming their delivery girl." Emma was led to Liam's car, but she didn't sit still. While he turned to speak with his team, she rummaged through the back seat, finding a stack of papers. Apex Technology contracts labeled Liam Anderson, CEO. She froze, hands trembling as she held them. When Liam returned, she thrust the papers at him, voice furious. "You're a CEO? You hid this from me the whole time? You paid my debt out of pity, didn't you?" Liam shook his head, stepping closer. "No, Emma. I paid it because I don't want you hurt anymore. I couldn't let you live in danger." Emma scoffed, her tone bitter. "Not hurt? Or because you see me as a pitiful delivery girl you need to save? You lied from the start. What poor tech guy drops 50 grand like it's nothing?" Liam grabbed her hand, his voice pleading. "I hid it because I was scared you'd push me away. I love you, not pity you." Emma yanked her hand back, eyes welling up. "Love? You say love but hide everything? You're a CEO, and I'm just a broke delivery girl. You think I need your charity? I don't. Her voice broke as she shouted. Liam tried to explain. It's not charity. I just want to protect you. But Emma wouldn't hear it. Protect? You make me feel like your toy. I don't want that. She flung the car door open and stormed out. Rain began to fall, cold and piercing, soaking her clothes. Liam chased after her, shouting, Emma, come back! But she didn't stop, walking through the rain, tears mixing with the downpour. I don't need a superhero or a CEO bailing me out, she muttered, angry and hurt. Liam stood there drenched, watching her fade into the rain. He clenched his fists, vowing to himself, I won't lose her again. But now the gap between them wasn't just the rain, it was the truth he couldn't hide, and Emma's wounded pride cutting deep. Chapter 6. A Quiet Distance. After that fateful rainy night, Emma slipped back into her daily routine as if nothing had happened. She pedaled her bike for deliveries at dawn, her sneakers caked with mud, her worn delivery jacket carrying the greasy scent of damp alleys. In the afternoons, she went to the small market, helping Mrs. Hoa tidy her vegetable stall, her hands swiftly sorting greens while she whistled a cheerful tune to drown out the emptiness inside. But whenever she paused, Liam's image, his gentle smile, tender eyes, and that cold, commanding voice, flooded her mind vividly. She shook her head, muttering, Forget it. He belongs to a different world. A CEO doesn't fit with a delivery girl like me. But the truth was, she missed him. She missed his clumsiness, dropping the vegetable crate, the way he blushed when their hands brushed, and even the bag of sandwiches he'd brought to the market that day. She smirked to herself. Miss him? He's a CEO, probably sitting in an air-conditioned office eating caviar while I'm out delivering sandwiches in the rain. She kept herself busy, taking extra orders, hauling more crates, but the void lingered. One rainy day, soaked to the bone, she huddled under the market's awning, watching the water stream down and wondering, if he hadn't hidden things from me, would it be different? A few blocks away, Liam was trapped in his own world at Apex Technologies' headquarters. The luxurious office with its vast glass windows overlooking the city now felt like a cage, imprisoning him in regret. He buried himself in work, signing contracts, meeting partners, reviewing reports, but his focus wavered. Every glance at his computer screen brought back Emma's furious face in the rain, her voice shouting, I don't need a CEO bailing me out. He tapped his fist lightly on the desk, berating himself. I'm such an idiot. How did I let her misunderstand me like this? Liam couldn't bear losing her. He began quietly keeping tabs on her from a distance, not to interfere, but to ensure she was okay. One rainy afternoon, he sat in his car a few hundred meters from the market, peering through fog glass. Emma, in a tattered raincoat, struggled with a heavy crate, rain streaking her face. She slipped, nearly fell, but laughed loudly. Greens, don't knock me over. I'm already beat from deliveries. Liam gripped the steering wheel, his heart aching. He wanted to rush over and help, but he knew she wouldn't want to see him, not after everything. In the days that followed, Liam grew increasingly distracted. During a critical meeting with foreign partners, he refused to sign a multi-million-dollar contract without a clear reason. His assistant Tom, a lively young man, asked in surprise, Boss, this deal's huge. Why pass it up? Liam just shook his head, his voice low. I'm not in the mood. Later. Tom sighed but didn't press further. He didn't know Liam had declined because he wanted time to figure out how to see Emma again, to fix his mistake. The turning point came on a drizzly morning. Emma was delivering near the market, pausing under an awning to escape the rain. She just finished a sandwich drop-off, her coin pouch nearly empty. Tom, Liam's assistant, happened to pass by, holding an umbrella and a hot coffee. Recognizing Emma from Liam's stories, he stopped to chat. You're Emma, right? I'm Tom. I work with Liam. Emma raised an eyebrow, teasing. Oh, superhero's sidekick? Did he send you to deliver me coffee? Tom laughed, shaking his head. Nah, I came on my own. But, my boss, Liam, he's been weird lately. He turned down a huge deal, millions of dollars, just to free up time to find you. He won't say it, but I know he's torn up about what happened. Emma froze, her hand clutching the coin pouch. Turned down a deal? For me? She asked, her voice trembling. Tom nodded. Yeah, he's been off since you walked away in the rain. I've never seen him like this. Emma went quiet, her mind spinning. She'd thought Liam was just a cold CEO who paid her debt as a pitying gesture and forgot her. But passing up millions to find her? That stunned her. She looked at Tom, forcing a humorous tone. Is he nuts? Trading millions for a delivery girl like me? What's the profit in that? But inside she couldn't laugh. Her anger lingered. He'd lied about who he was, paid her debt without asking. But Tom's words made her reconsider. Does he actually care about me? Tom shrugged, handing her the coffee. Take this. It's cold out. I don't know your whole story, but I think my boss doesn't want to lose you. He walked off, leaving Emma under the awning, holding the warm cup. She stared at the rain, her emotions tangled. She missed Liam, the happy moments with him, but she was scared. Scared he only pitied her. Scared his world was too far from hers. But if he'd ditched millions for her, then what? I've got to see him again, she murmured, gripping the coffee. To clear things up, I can't keep dragging this out. Not far off, Liam sat in his car, watching Emma through the misty glass. He didn't know Tom had just spoken to her, didn't know his assistant's words had shaken her. He only saw her standing in the rain, coffee in hand, her face tinged with sadness. He told himself, I've got to do something. I can't let her struggle like this. But he didn't approach. Not yet, while she was still mad. He started the car and drove off, his heart heavy. Emma returned to the market, resuming her tasks. But her mind was elsewhere. She sorted greens, made deliveries, yet Tom's words echoed. Turned down a big deal. To find me? She smirked wryly. He's a superhero, all right, but a weird one. This time her smile lacked bitterness. She'd made up her mind. She'd find Liam, not to reconcile yet, but to confront him, get answers. She didn't want to live in doubt and emptiness anymore. The rain eased, faint sunlight piercing the clouds. Emma stood, brushed off her jacket, and gazed into the distance. Liam Anderson, you wait, she muttered, her tone a mix of anger and resolve. She didn't know that Liam, driving back to his office, was thinking of her too. The fierce delivery girl who'd stirred his heart, the one he couldn't bear to lose again. Chapter 7. The Journey to Reunite. After her unexpected encounter with Tom, Emma couldn't sit still. His words, Liam rejecting a massive deal to find her, echoed in her mind like an unending song. She was angry, confused, but above all, she wanted the truth straight from him. That morning after her delivery shift, Emma stood before the mirror in her tiny rented room, eyeing her worn delivery jacket and dusty sneakers. Me? Meeting a CEO? Whatever. I'll just pretend it's a delivery, she muttered, smirking. She tucked a sandwich, Liam's old favorite, into her bag and pedaled straight to Apex Technologies' headquarters. The Apex building towered over the city center, all gleaming glass and steel, a world utterly foreign to Emma. She parked her bike at the entrance, watching suited people bustle in and out, thinking, this can't be real. I've stumbled into a superhero movie. Taking a deep breath, she pulled on her delivery cap, clutched the sandwich box, and strode to the reception desk with feigned confidence. Hi, I've got a delivery for, Liam Anderson, she said, her voice shaky but masked with a wide grin. The receptionist frowned, scanning her up and down. A delivery? Mr. Anderson didn't order anything. Quick on her feet, Emma slapped the box lightly. Oh, he did! Special sandwich. He loves it. Let me up, or he'll chew me out for being late. After some hesitation and checks, the receptionist grudgingly handed her a visitor pass and directed her to the 20th floor. Emma stepped into the elevator, gripping the sandwich box, her nerves a tangled mess. I'm nuts, waltzing into the lion's den like this. I'll probably get kicked out, she mumbled, but a grin crept up at the absurdity of it all. When the doors opened, she emerged into a sleek hallway, red carpet, polished glass doors. She tiptoed, pretending to search for a room, but really looking for Liam. Through a large glass door, she spotted him. Liam sat in a meeting room clad in a black suit, his steady voice carrying over a group of senior staff. He was cold, a stark contrast to the clumsy tech guys she'd known, but his eyes held a sadness, like he bore an invisible weight. Emma stood outside peering through the glass, her heart pounding. "He's really a CEO," she whispered, a mix of awe and heartache washing over her. She wanted to knock, to storm in and demand answers, but her feet froze. "What am I doing here? I'll just drop off the sandwich and bolt," she told herself, turning to leave the box on a hallway chair. But Liam had seen her. During a break in the meeting, he glanced at the security feed on his desk, a habit born from worrying about Emma. There she was, high ponytail, familiar delivery jacket, hurrying toward the elevator. His heart raced. He shot to his feet, leaving his baffled staff behind. "I've got an emergency," he said curtly, then dashed out. He sprinted down the hall, nearly zhuanging into an employee, his eyes locked on Emma as she stepped into the elevator. "Emma!" he shouted, but the doors slid shut before he could reach her. Liam didn't give up. He bolted down the stairwell, ignoring curious stares, racing to the main entrance. He guessed she'd head somewhere familiar, the little street corner near the market, where they'd once shared sandwiches. Rain began to drizzle as he drove through crowded streets, his chest burning with urgency. When he reached the corner, there she was, Emma under the sandwich cart's awning, in a torn raincoat, clutching a freshly bought sandwich, her face etched with melancholy. Liam stepped out of his car, his suit soaking in the rain, but he didn't care. He approached, his voice urgent. "Emma, why'd you come to the office and leave?" She jumped, turning to see him standing there, rain streaking his hair. She smirked, clinging to her humor. "I was gonna deliver you a sandwich, but you were busy meeting the world. I didn't want to butt in." But her eyes betrayed her hurt. Liam stepped closer, his tone low. "You came to find me, didn't you?" Emma fell silent for a moment, then asked, her voice trembling, "Why didn't you tell me the truth? You're a CEO, not some broke tech guy. Why'd you hide it from me?" Liam met her gaze, pain in his eyes. "Because I was afraid you'd walk away, afraid you'd think I wasn't genuine, that you wouldn't accept me, someone from this world." He gestured toward the distant Apex building, his voice catching. "I wanted to be with you as a normal guy, not a CEO." Emma scoffed, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Normal? You paid off my debt, called in a rescue squad like an action flick. That's normal? You made me feel like a fool." Liam shook his head, closing the gap. "I didn't want you to suffer anymore. I paid the debt because I couldn't stand seeing you threatened. I didn't want to lose you." Emma shouted, "But you didn't ask me." "You decided, you hid it. Did you think I needed you that badly?" Silence fell, broken only by the patter of rain around them. Liam watched her, tears mixing with rain on her face, his heart breaking. Emma turned away, her voice softening. "I don't know how to trust you anymore." But she didn't walk off. Her feet seemed anchored by his gaze. Liam took a deep breath, grasping her hand, cold from the rain, yet strangely warm. "Emma," he said, pleading, "give me one more chance. No secrets, no hiding this time. I'll prove I love you, not out of pity, but because you're Emma, the one I can't live without." Emma stared at his hand, holding hers, warmth spreading through her. She wanted to pull away, to yell she didn't need him, but she couldn't. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "You've got me all messed up." Liam gave a sad smile. "I know, and I'm sorry, but I don't want to lose you again." Emma stayed quiet, then nodded slowly, more tears falling. "Fine," she said, her voice choked. "But if you trick me again, I'll deliver you rotten sandwiches for life." Liam laughed, pulling her into his arms, holding her tight despite their drenched clothes. "Deal," he whispered, his grip tightening. Emma didn't push him away, letting the rain soak through, her heart a mix of relief and turmoil. She didn't know what the future held, but in that moment, she wanted to trust him, just once more. The rain kept falling, but the little street corner no longer felt cold. Liam and Emma stood there hand in hand, saying nothing more. They knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but at least they'd found each other again. No secrets standing between them. Emma thought to herself, What kind of superhero is this clumsy? But her lips curved into a smile, the first since their days apart. Chapter 8. Reconciliation and Challenges. After their moment in the rain, Emma and Liam decided to give each other a fresh start. Liam suggested joining her for a charity event she'd long planned, a giveaway for orphaned kids at a shelter near the market. Emma agreed, but not without a jab. Fine, but don't show up in a suit and scare the kids. I don't want them thinking a superhero's landed. Liam laughed, nodding. I'll wear my old shirt, like when we first met. That morning, the orphanage buzzed with chatter and laughter. Small stalls were set up under a sprawling banyan tree, laden with clothes, books, and toys Emma had scraped together from her delivery earnings and donations from market folks. Dressed in a simple tee, she hauled a box of toys, whistling cheerfully as if nothing had ever gone wrong. Liam arrived on time, true to his word, faded blue shirt, sleeves rolled up, no trace of the icy CEO. He quietly stepped in, lifting another box to help her, keeping words to a minimum. Emma glanced at him, smirking. Not bad. You look more like a porter than a CEO. Liam chuckled softly. Guess I'm learning the trade from you. They started anew. No fanfare, no rush. Liam pitched in silently, carrying boxes, stacking books on shelves, even sneaking in some new toys he'd bought to add to Emma's pile. She noticed but said nothing, only grinning when he clumsily dropped a teddy bear. You're really not cut out for this, she teased, picking it up and handing it to a little girl nearby. Liam scratched his head. I'm trying. The ease of their early days crept back, though a hint of awkwardness lingered after all that had happened. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. As the event kicked off, a crowd gathered. Kids, market locals, and a few Apex staff Liam had invited to assist. Emma stood in the courtyard, directing the children to line up for their gifts, her voice bright. No pushing, kiddos. I deliver fast. Everyone gets something. Liam watched from behind, warmth filling him, but tinged with guilt. He knew she hadn't fully forgiven him. She'd given him a chance, but her eyes sometimes flickered with doubt. A small hiccup came when a boy tugged Emma's hand, shouting, Sis, who's that guy? He keeps staring at you. The crowd burst into laughter, turning to Liam. He blushed, fumbling with his hair while Emma smirked. It's fine. He's my delivery assistant, still in training. More laughter erupted, but Liam wouldn't let her have the last word. He stepped into the center of the courtyard, facing everyone, his voice low but firm. I'm not a delivery assistant. I'm Liam, and I've got something to say. Emma froze, her arms around a box mid-lift. The crowd hushed, curiosity piqued. Liam took a deep breath, locking eyes with her. Emma, I messed up hiding things from you. I hid because I was scared of losing you, but I don't regret loving you. You're the strongest person I've ever met, and I don't want to live without you in my life. His voice cracked, his earnest gaze making Emma's heart race. The crowd oohed, a few clapped, and Emma stood there, cheeks flaming. She tried to keep her wit, laughing loudly. What's with the cheesy lines? I'm a delivery girl, not a movie star. But her smile betrayed her emotions. She stepped closer, softening her tone. You've embarrassed me in front of everyone now. Liam grinned, taking her hand. I want the world to know I'm sorry. Emma met his gaze, her eyes thawing. She didn't say more, but a slight nod told Liam she was letting him in. The crowd cheered, some kids yelling, Forgive him, sis! Emma glared at them. What do you brats know about this? But she couldn't hide her wide grin. After that moment, they dove back into the work together. Emma and Liam teamed up to hand out gifts to the orphans, rediscovering their old rhythm. Emma gave a shirt to a girl, teasing, Wear this, and you're a princess. Just don't let Liam rip it. Standing beside her, Liam handed a book to a boy, retorting, I'm not that clumsy. You've trained me well. They shared a laugh, their eyes meeting with meaning. Slowly, the invisible walls between them melted, replaced by a natural closeness. The event stretched into late afternoon, golden sunlight filtering through the trees. As it wound down, a 5-year-old girl with twin braids ran up, wrapping her arms around both Emma's and Liam's legs. She looked up, eyes sparkling. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for the pretty shirt. Emma flinched, her face turning scarlet, while Liam froze, jaw dropping. The crowd roared with laughter, Mrs. Hoa shouting from afar, "She's right. You two look like parents." Emma gently nudged the girl off, flustered. "I'm not your mom, kid. Don't scare me like that." But she couldn't hold back her laughter, glancing at Liam. "See? Now the world thinks you're my dad." Liam blushed, rubbing his neck. I wouldn't mind." He knelt, patting the girl's head. "Thanks for liking the shirt, but she's not your mom yet." The girl giggled and scampered off, leaving Emma and Liam standing there, sheepish but joyful. As the crowd thinned, they sat on a wooden bench under the banyan tree. Emma grabbed an apple from a leftover box, took a bite, and handed it to Liam. "Eat, don't make me do all the work." Liam took it, nibbling a piece, then said, "Thanks for today. I didn't think you'd forgive me so soon." Emma shrugged, teasing, "Forgive? Not that fast. I'm still planning to deliver you some bad sandwiches for revenge." But she tilted her head, looking at him. "You apologize to the whole world, though. It's hard not to let that slide." Liam laughed, holding her hand. "So I can keep being with you?" Emma nodded, her gaze softening. "Yeah, but no more hiding. I don't like your superhero style." Liam squeezed her hand. "I promise." They sat there, hands clasped, watching the kids play in the fading light. The girl calling them Mom and Dad still left them flustered, but it warmed their hearts in a strange way. The sun dipped lower, and the orphanage grew quiet. Emma leaned her head on Liam's shoulder, whispering, "Today was nice." Liam nodded, pulling her closer. "For me, having you is enough." They fell silent, but the comfort and happiness had returned, a silent vow to face future challenges together. No more secrets in the way. Chapter 9. A Mature Love. After the charity event, Emma and Liam began rebuilding their relationship on a new foundation. No secrets, no pretense. But new challenges soon arose. One evening, as they sat eating sandwiches at their familiar street corner, Emma fell quiet, crumbling her bread with her fingers. Liam noticed the shift, asking gently, "What's wrong?" Emma hesitated, then met his gaze, her voice soft. "Liam, can we really stay together forever? You're a CEO, and I'm just a delivery girl who used to be in debt. This rich-poor gap, I'm scared it'll ruin everything." Liam set his sandwich down, looking at her with a tender but resolute expression. He pulled a small bracelet from his pocket, not gold or silver, but a handmade piece crafted from recycled rope and polished metal scraps. "I made this from office leftover," he said, slipping it onto her wrist. "I don't need money to prove I love you. To me, you're not a delivery girl or someone in debt. You're Emma, the one I want by my side for life." Emma touched the bracelet, her eyes welling up. "It's so ugly, but thank you." She smirked, teasing. "Don't think I'm wearing this means I'm yours forever. I've still got to think about it." Liam laughed, taking her hand. "Think as long as you want. I'll wait." They began learning to blend their worlds. Liam stepped back from Apex's glitzy realm, spending more time with Emma on charity work. He embraced simplicity, wearing old shirts, hauling veggie crates at the market, even joining her on a delivery run once to experience it. That time, he fumbled and dropped a sandwich box, earning Emma's laughter all day. "What kind of CEO delivers this badly? I'm docking your pay." Liam shrugged. "Dock it, but you've got to pay me in smiles." Emma blushed, turning away to hide her grin, but her heart felt unusually warm. Emma evolved too. She learned to trust Liam, shedding her doubts whenever he did something grand. One day he suggested, "Let's start a charity fund for orphans and the poor at the market." Emma blinked, surprised. "A fund? I don't know anything about managing." Liam took her hand. "You can do it. I'll back you up, but you'll lead." After days of mulling it over, she agreed. They named it Little Haven, with Emma at the helm and Liam quietly providing funds and resources from Apex. She grew comfortable coordinating, distributing goods, and running larger charity drives, while Liam supported her without ever overstepping, ensuring she never felt dependent. As time passed, they hosted bigger charity events together. One afternoon at the orphanage, they stood in the courtyard, laughing with the kids. Emma handed a shirt to a girl, teasing, Wear this, and you're a princess. Just don't let Liam tear it. Liam beside her gave a book to a boy, retorting, I'm not that clumsy. You've trained me well. The kids giggled, darting around them, the air brimming with joy. No more secrets, just genuine love and simple companionship. During a fun meeting, as Liam jotted down figures, Emma suddenly said, I used to think I didn't deserve you, but now I know we were meant for each other. Liam looked up, smiling. I thought I didn't deserve you. You're stronger than I ever imagined. Emma smirked. Strong? I scammed you once. Liam took her hand. And I let you, because I'd already fallen for you back then. The pinnacle came on a special evening. They held a major charity event at the orphanage. Fairy lights twinkling from the banyan tree, kids scampering around the yard. As everyone enjoyed cake, Liam stepped into the center, mic in hand, his voice shaky. Can I have a few minutes, folks? Emma, nearby with a box in her arms, looked at him, puzzled. Liam turned to her, eyes gleaming. Emma, you're the strongest person I know. You taught me how to live real, love real. I won't promise you the world, but I promise my whole world to love and protect you. He knelt, pulling a ring from his pocket, not a pricey diamond, but a simple silver band engraved with E and L. The crowd gasped, kids shouting, Marry him! Marry him! Emma froze, dropping the box, her face flaming. What are you doing? She stammered, flustered and annoyed. Liam smiled. I'm proposing. Will you say yes? Emma stared, tears streaming, but kept her sass. I scammed you once, and you still want to marry me? Liam nodded. Not only do I dare, I want you to scam me for life. Emma laughed, tears flowing harder. She stepped forward, holding out her hand. Fine, I'll say yes. But you taught me to believe in myself, so don't regret it. Liam slid the ring on, standing to hug her tight amid roaring applause. The kids rushed over, clinging to their legs, yelling, Sis Emma's marrying Liam. Emma blushed, teasing, Don't call me Mom yet. I'm not ready. Liam laughed heartily, squeezing her hand. You'll get there. The event wrapped up in laughter and cheer. Emma and Liam stood under the banyan tree, watching the kids play, their hands clasped. Moonlight glinted off the recycled bracelet and silver ring on Emma's wrist. They were no longer a CEO and a delivery girl, no divide of wealth or status. Just two people who belonged together, crafting a simple, full future. Their journey from misunderstanding to happiness closed in warmth. Emma leaned on Liam's shoulder, whispering, Thanks for not giving up. Liam kissed her forehead. Thanks for giving me a chance. They smiled at each other, leaving everyone around and readers with a cozy feeling. True love can overcome any barrier, as long as two hearts are willing to trust and grow together. Thank you for following this heartfelt story of Soul Stories channel. Share your thoughts about the story in the comments below. If you believe that true love can withstand all trials and sometimes begins in the simplest of ways, don't forget to hit the like button and share this story with your friends. To never miss out on touching and meaningful stories, subscribe to our channel and help us spread messages of love and warmth to everyone. Let's cherish